Hi, good afternoon, YouTube family. It's Symphony Love back with another video. I wanted to touch quickly on a topic. I hope y'all can hear me because it's going through the car with the Bluetooth. I would like to say I don't want this video to be long, but who knows? I'm not cutting out anything or editing this video because I want it to be as transparent as possible. Just getting off work on the way home, and towards the end of my work day, I started, I was listening to YouTube, per usual, and I think, a song was stuck in my head. So it was a gospel song, and I went to go look up the gospel song or whatever to listen to it, and I did. And when I looked up that gospel song, you know how the algorithm will have recommended. Let's see, I'll be as good as I can do. But you know how YouTube algorithm will have other suggested videos that's related to what you're watching. So it suggested a good old school church song. It suggested a good old school church song that I haven't heard in a while. And as I listened to it, I began to feel myself just like well up and stir on the inside with emotion. Wow. The trees are starting to blossom. Look at that. These were bold last week. These are cherry blossom trees, y'all. They are beautiful. Wow. Ooh, are you paying attention? You almost hit me. Yeah, still not editing this video. I was going real slow like a grandma, and this lady still didn't see me driving, and she was coming out of the establishment and was this close to tapping the car. Hope you got insurance. But anyway, so I started feeling my spirit stir up, and it brought me to the revelation of why I had stopped really listening to gospel music for a while, and it's for that exact reason. Sorry, the sun is in my eyes. I'm trying to squint. For that exact reason, it reminded me of why I stopped listening to gospel music for a while. And it's due to the fact of the way that it opens up my heart, and it makes me begin to feel. And I've just been in a season where I don't want to feel. And that's the realest thing that I've said to myself, and I've came into conclusion with since my grandmother passed away. Now, me and my grandmother, aka my Nana, were very, very, very close. I mean, like this. She was the closest person to me on this earth. And I have a lot of moments that I never express or share to people where I feel like I'm drowning. My heart hurts, literally. Chest is cramping. Feel like it's hard to breathe. Like, it's like pain, internal and external. And I never bring these type of things to people's attention because you don't want to feel like you're a burden on people, as well as you don't want to feel like they've already helped you through the brunt of the grief, like after the person may have passed away, during or after the funeral, and so on and so forth. So it gets to a point where you don't want to always feel like you're not okay. Humans, we want to make it seem like we're okay because too many times we've been in situations where we really weren't okay, and we seek for help, we seek for comfort, and people just flat out didn't care, or they had fake sympathy. So after going through that so many times repetitively, you start to get conditioned to internalizing your feelings. And when you internalize your feelings like I do, it can show up in a different way. Things will start to bubble over. You may start to get frustrated quicker. You may start to get irritated over little petty stuff, or you may just downright be a person that will just start crying about everything. And for me, unfortunately it's been the other two, where I'm noticing it show up in ways where I'm getting more frustrated, I'm getting more irritated, or I have a side effect of just being completely numb from emotions, period. And I've been using that as a defense mechanism since my grandmother passed away, because the same reason why I didn't want to listen to gospel, and I just figured out why, is because I don't want to feel it. I started welling up and tearing up in the office because it was touching a piece of my soul again that I kind of hardened. Like, I've always told God, I'm not mad at you for taking my Nana, because I know everybody has an expiration date, and you gave me more than enough time. You gave her more than enough second and third chances, and I always believed that it was for my behalf because I wasn't able to handle it. And even though I feel that I'm still not able to handle it, God knows that I'm in a better place. This is as good as it's gonna get, you know. Let alone, he's definitely still had to have supernatural comfort. He had to have his hand on me this whole time, because had he not, I would have fell apart. I'm gonna be transparent, which is why I'm not gonna edit this video. Once my Nana passed, actually before she passed, I told God I wanted to make a deal with him that my Nana goes, I go. Package deal all day long. Like, that's my Nana. Granted, it didn't work that way. But once she passed away, I still felt that. So in a way, I felt betrayed by God. Like, you knew how much this loss will hurt me. Why wouldn't you take me with her, or take me before her? Because that was my prayer since I was a child, which lets you know what type of problem that is, how deeply rooted that pain is. I believe I was somewhere between, I want to say, between 7 and 12, because I was living in Suitland, Maryland at the time, and my Nana had went through a traumatic, like, pancreas failure, and then she had a whole bunch of health issues after that just kept relapsing, and she wasn't going to make it in the hospital. She actually died and came back on a ventilator. But before she came back on the ventilator, they had already gave us the news. And I tried to hang myself from my bunk bed with a jump rope. Several times. Over and over and over. And I would just hang there, and I would make it dead weight so it can really pull. And God was like, no. It's not your time yet. I have another assignment for you. So from that moment on, it seemed like God was keeping her around for me, even though I wanted to die and I did not die. I felt like he kept her around long enough where I can have the maturity, the spiritual maturity, to keep pushing on, even though I still feel the same way that I felt when I was a little girl, where that was the moment when I didn't die, and they literally, after I had stopped trying to hang myself, they literally had called my mom and had said that she's breathing again. They brought her back on a ventilator, blah, 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 blah. I remember it as clear as day. And I was just like, wow, God, either you didn't let me die because you knew that you was going to bring her back and it would have been a waste of a life, or I don't know. I'm not going to try to figure it out. But the simple fact of the matter is, after I did that unsuccessful attempts, it didn't stop me from feeling that pain that I almost lost my Nana. And I never wanted to feel that way again. So I started to bargain with God and asking him about a deal. If my Nana goes, I need to go first, or I need to go with her. I can't feel this pain no more. And silly me as a child, I thought that God agreed to it. At this time, I wasn't as connected in the spirit where I wouldn't believe that today if I was to ask God for that and actually believe that he would agree to something like that. You don't tell God what to do. He's sovereign. You're on his time. So if anything, he probably laughed at me like, yeah, okay, we'll see. Here I am, 27 years old. So you might as well say 20 years later or so. And my Nana has been gone for approximately like 4 to 5 months. Wow, time is flying. Maybe 6. Wow. Between 6 and 7 months. I'm not going to dwell on that right now because I want to get through the video and help people. The reason why I'm making this is because during this time of grief, I would search every day over and over and over for grief motivation videos, or some type of videos where somebody looked like me, like not appearance wise, but somebody who looked like me, who was going through what I was going through, and honestly didn't exactly know the perfect thing to say, but to let me know that I'm not going through this experience by myself, because I really feel like I'm the only person in the world feeling like this. And I know I'm not the only person in the world who has lost a person or who is grieving, but my feelings feel otherwise. It feels like I'm in this by myself. It feels like nobody understands. It feels like if I grieve too long, then people start side-eyeing me like, you're not over it yet, or why you still whatever. So between all of that and not wanting to feel the pain, I distract myself. And I've been doing that since day one. I still do it to this day, where people will literally look at me and think everything is copacetic. I'm healing, I'm progressing, but I'm not. I put on a face because I'm just a strong individual that people tend to look up to for leadership, especially my child. I have a young child, so I don't let him see mommy cry. And if I don't let anybody see me cry, rather. Like if I feel like it's about to just come down and I can't swallow it, I go and I exit the room, because I don't want people to see me like that. I don't want to come off as weak, or I don't want to come off as, I don't know, it's just something about me. Maybe it's the alpha character that I have, that you just don't let people see you down and out or weak or crying, or I just don't like it. It feels uncomfortable to have people watching me cry or trying to hug me while I'm crying or feeling sad like that. I'd rather just remove myself. And I honestly don't think that it's always been this bad, where I don't do good with support and I'm just used to handling it on my own, because at one point I used to look for that type of support and I never found it. Back when I was open to being vulnerable, back when I was open to expressing my true feelings to people, regardless of if it wasn't happy, because I was always a happy, bubbly person. And just life circumstances and experiences with other people, you realize everybody not for you. And some people who say that they want to help you have a ulterior motive, or people that you really thought that would care or help you, they don't. They're more distant than, so I don't know what it is. It's a combination of stuff that has me in the spot where I am now, where I feel like I want to deal with that kind of stuff alone, but I realize that it's not working for me, because I'm not dealing with it. And I noticed today, when I listened to the gospel music, how it would just like unharden my heart in a way that I built it up so that I won't feel this pain. Nobody wants to feel that pain of grief, especially if it was the closest person to you. And I know people may be in the comments and say, oh, well, you have a child, isn't that the closest person to you? That should tell you something right there. I have the bond for my child and the love for my child that any mother would have, that wholeheartedly is invested and loves their child. But even still, my Nana was number one spot. I live with my Nana. She's been in my life for 27 years. She died at 77. I'm 27. My son is 5. The rap sheet a little different, I've been with my Nana since a baby. It literally feels like a big chunk, if not half of my soul has left this earth. I've been joined at the hip with my Nana since I can remember. And I'm really fighting the tears at this point. Like, you know, when you really feeling it and it feels like somebody just got their hand on your throat or something stuck in your throat and you feel it trying to come up. But this is a part of me not wanting anybody to see and me wanting to come off as strong. One, because that's how I am. Two, because I'm making this video to try to help other people. And I know sometimes it's therapeutic for me to see other people cry when they go through the same thing I'm going through. So I know that it's normal. I know that it's not weird for me to still be crying. I want to see other people's emotions so I can feel like somebody can relate to me. And maybe in a part 2, 3, or 4 of these grief videos, it may just come and I may not be able to swallow it and stop it from coming. But at the end of the day, I want to be conducive to help somebody who's out there grieving and let y'all know, I feel you. 100,000, 51, 89, 42% feel you. I more than understand you. I feel you. I know where you're at. I know that it's hard. I know that if you are a person that gets attached like me, I know you want to die. I know crying doesn't seem to soothe your soul no matter how much tears you let out. I know some people may be mad at God and some people may not be mad at God, but either way, you still question. Maybe not why did he do it to you or why did this have to happen to me, but you may question, why is life like this? Why do I have to go through life learning how to love people, learning to get attached to people, when at the end of the day, everybody's just gonna die? And I've never had abandonment issues before, but that's kind of what life will make you feel like when you're going through grief. Or not abandonment issues, I'm sorry, neglect. Or I guess it could be either. Whichever one resonates with your soul the most. Like, you feel like, why get close to people? Because they always leave. And at this point, it's an inevitable part of life where people are bound to leave. It's different when somebody walks out of your life and they're still living and there's a potential chance of you reconnecting with that person. But death, there is no reconnection. At least that's what my flesh feels. I don't want to wait until I die. I don't want to wait until I go to heaven to see my Nana. I don't want to wait. And that's just real to say. I want her now. I want her back. I teeter back and forth between denial and anger. Denial, anger, sadness. Denial, anger, sadness. Denial, anger, depression. But I'm still in denial. Here we are 6 to 7 months in. And this is just to show you there is no amount of counseling. There is no amount of intercession with other people. I'm not going to say there's no amount of prayer because that's not true. But your flesh will feel there is no amount of prayer or anything. There's no amount of gifts. There's no amount of hugs. There's no amount of conversation that's going to fix what's in here that's broken, because you can't give it back to me. You can't get it back. This probably going to be the realest series that I ever bring to y'all, because for the most part, I'm in teacher mode. I maintain my tongue and I say what needs to be said, and I'm very transparent, but I keep my feelings out of it. This time, you get to see. Christians go through this stuff too. Everything is not good all the time. I'm not happy all the time. It may come off like that to you, everybody. It may come off like that. But You just never know what people are going through. That's why everybody needs to take this heed. Like, be kind to people. It seemed like when my nana had passed away, I ran into the most nastiest people who was just rude. Drive-throughs, stores, at the job, people on the street, people driving by, people just rude. And that, you just never know. That may be the straw that breaks the camel's back. As a Christian, you think, you know, it's wrong to say stuff like, oh, well, this makes me want to fight, or it makes me want to yell, I want to scream, or it makes me, whatever it makes you want to do, that's your right, that's your feeling. Too oftentimes, we, including myself, bottle up our feelings and shake it off and tell ourselves, oh, no, that's not nothing, or this too shall pass. And yes, that's God's word, this too shall pass. But is it really? From my experience prior and from other people's experiences, grief don't go away. You will never stop grieving a person. You will never stop missing somebody that you lost and that you can't get back. I just passed, you know, when people die on a car accident, how they have flowers and stuff on the side of the road. I just passed one with flowers, a cross, angel wings, and you see stuff like that, and it'll bring it right back. You would think that it's gone. Just like myself, I think that I've distracted myself to a T where I've damn near mastered it at this point. Seriously, y'all, I've damn near mastered denying my feelings, being in denial of the event even 6-7 months later. I've mastered the distracting myself. I've mastered putting on a face and acting like I'm good when I'm not. Don't do what I do. At some point, my healing process is going to hit me like a Mack truck or a ton of bricks. Because instead of me gradually letting it out like a normal person, I keep it pent up inside because I'm scared of that monster that's going to come out, and I feel like it's going to overtake me like it was when I was a child if I even begin to grieve. I feel like I'm not going to be functional for my job if I even begin to grieve. I'm not going to be functional as a mother of two, a dog and my actual son. I'm not going to be able to be functional as a parent if I begin to grieve. I'm not going to be functional for myself if I begin to grieve. It's just a whole lot of stuff that I'm not ready to deal with. Like, if I go to counseling at this point, it's going to open up wounds that I'm not ready to address. So everybody heals in their own timing. Everybody goes through what they go through their own way. So don't let nobody tell you any different. Don't let nobody tell you you're not supposed to feel like that. Or because you're a Christian, blank, blank, blank. Nah, we human too. And quite frankly, because we Christian, we go through the stuff the worst. Because we have this pedestal that people put us on. Like we're supposed to be perfect beings. And we don't have normal feelings, and that we don't bleed like the rest of humankind. It's false. So I just wanted to make a part 1 video. I'm pulling up at the house. I knew this video was either going to go one or two ways. It was going to be short, and I was just going to touch base real quick, or it was going to be long, and I was really going to let y'all understand, really, like, be able to relate. Like, this is how a person really feels. So it's okay. I want to be able to add to those videos that's out there, the very few that's out there that's dealing with grief, that's not going to just say cookie cutter words just because it sounds good, when it has no substance to make you feel any better, or to make you feel heard or understood. So I hope that this maybe not have blessed or comforted anyone, but I hope this video you was able to relate to me and my story and my emotions, what I'm feeling, what I'm going through. I hope that y'all was able to relate in such a way where you don't feel alone anymore. I hope that you were able to relate in a way where you can feel like, dang, I'm struggling with some of these same issues. It's normal. Or, let me work on that. I already told you, don't do what I do. I've never been through a loss this deep before. And I done hit some losses that cut deep. But this one right here, it's a whole new ball game. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like every day I wake up, I'm literally in limbo. Whether people can see it or not, I'm in limbo. I'm literally on autopilot every day. Even when I go out to have fun, I'm on autopilot. The smile is there. The giggles is there. But I'm dead inside. I really feel that. Don't be like me. Go get your healing. Go talk to people. Don't do like me and isolate yourself. And then when you finally do get company and people who come over, you don't talk about it. Because you don't want to resurface that pain. It's not good. And although I can tell you that that's not good, I'm already deep in it where I have to find a way to really pull myself out. And do it carefully so I don't slip back into depression. I've ran that race before and it's not fun. Part of the reason why I don't want to face this, because I don't want to go back there. I love y'all. Shout outs and condolences to every single one of y'all who has lost somebody. A friend, a child, a mom, a dad, a cousin, aunt, uncle, a grandmother, or a grandfather. I truly care. I may not know you, but I truly care. And my heart goes out to you, each and every one of y'all. So the number one takeaway from this part 1 series of grief: don't go through it by yourself. Number 1, don't go through it alone and be isolated. Number 2, don't bury your feelings. Please. Number 3, get the help that you need and get outside. Get around and mingle with other people. And number 4, don't be afraid to feel. Don't be afraid to cry, especially when you have the support there. Somebody who will allow you to be vulnerable in that moment. Okay? And number 5, almost forgot. The biggest thing that I do now that I'm failing at: do not bury yourself in distractions. Making yourself too busy to feel will only resurface harder later. And then you better hope that when you do fall, that somebody is around. The week before my grandmother passed, I had a major anxiety attack. So much so that my smartwatch couldn't even pick it up and track my heartbeat for a long time. I felt like I was about to pass out or die. I had no clue that my body was undergoing that type of stress, that it would react like that. Because my nana hadn't passed yet, but I had it in my subconscious the whole time thinking, when is it going to come? She's sick. What about this? What about that? So the same way I wasn't mentally aware or physically even aware that was going on, my body definitely showed me otherwise, that was going on. Don't wait until your body or your mind collapse before you start to show it the self-care and attention that you need. So, I say all that to say I'm with you. If you need to talk, reach out. Get in the comments. I will respond back. You may have to give me a minute to look and find it, but I will respond. And if you feel that you need more of a one-on-one and you don't want to put the business on the comments, we can DM each other. We can email each other. And if you really feel comfortable, I will give you a call to let you know that you have somebody in your corner in this world who gets it. I love y'all. I love you.